everyone. This is Yu Tsai. Welcome to Let's Talk. And today my guest is another amazing Sports Illustrated swimsuit model, Samantha Hoopes. And
Hey.
I love you, Samantha. I'm so glad that we have this opportunity to be together.
I know, I agree. We've had such a long journey together, and I'm excited to talk about it and dive deep and really just reconnect with you since it's been almost a year since I've seen you last.
That's true. Now, before we jump into that, I want to thank everybody who's been supporting Let's Talk, and all the donations that you guys have supported have already helped us deliver over 30,000 masks to first responders. So if anybody who wish to help and donate, here's our website. And Samantha, thank you so much for your donation today. Not only did you match our 500 masks a day donation, you topped it off with another 3,000 mask donation. So thank you so very much. MJ and I are so appreciative. MJ, the editor-in-chief of Sports Illustrated Swimsuit, is working with me together on distributing these masks in the East Coast. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Of course, thank you for giving me this opportunity to give back and support in a time where we need it most.
Yes, we do. We all need it. Well, let's jump right into our journey. Want to do that? Let's jump right in.
Yeah, let's go. I'm ready.
I don't remember exactly which year, but I remember that at the time I was shooting for a brand called Guess. And at the time, there was a lot of sexy models, beautiful, gorgeous models. And the brand itself is always about sensual and pushing the boundary of sexiness. And you were brand new in the scene. You were this unknown in the scene. And your agent, Victor, had texted me and said, you need to see this girl. I'm telling you, you will fall in love with her. She's your type of girl. And I saw your picture. I was like, I need to see what she has done, because you didn't have a lot of picture at the time. How did you meet Victor?
I applied online to be a model, and lucky for me, I got a call back from Victor from Elite, and he really started my journey. You know, he believed in me, probably the only person who believed in me at the time, before I met you, before I met the brand, before I met everybody, because, you know, I was a small town girl coming from Pennsylvania. My idea of what a guest girl and what a model was so, I don't want to say like, you know, I don't want to make myself look bad, but like cheap, you know what I mean? And I thought, like, you know, the bigger everything, the sexier, So, you know, it's really nice that I had someone to push me to meet the people that I did, and you know, it's been a journey.
In the very beginning of your career, that not a lot of people believed in you at the time, and your perception of what a brand like Guess or other brand that fitted your personality and your personal aesthetic, you felt that it kind of is in this genre that you kind of got pigeonholed into right away, but your own personal thought of the brand, you felt like it was a little bit cheap, as you said. Well, let's talk about that, because the fact is the brands are actually not cheap. It's how we interpret the brands, right? So
exactly,
brands like Guess and other lingerie brand like Victoria's Secret at the time were the pinnacle of model's career, right? Everybody wanted to be there. Victor pushed you really, really hard on me, because I have always been a photographer, as you know. I love my sexy girls. I love girls who own it and empower themselves to be brave in front of the camera. And when you show up for the first time, we had to go see. And I just remember this. It's so funny. I heard your voice first before I saw you. So with this like, hi, where's Yu Tsai? And this voice was so distinct. I was like, and I was picturing what this girl would look like, what this model would look like. And then you walked in. You were decked out, head to toe, cleavage out, booty popping. You were like in a hip hop music video. You were ready to go. Ready to go. And I loved it. I thought it was funny, and I thought it was almost like you were almost like laughing at the situation. Although you probably didn't think of that when you did it, but it did felt like you were in a way like, here's a little mockery. You want me sexy? I'm going to show you the most extreme sexy how I can be. Well, it's, people say first impression people remember really deeply, and that was my first impression of you. And let's talk about your relationship with Victor, because I think it's so important that every model, you know, out there, to have someone who believed in them. How did Victor work with you, and how did he shepherd you along with your career?
You know, he really pushed me, and you know, even to this day we're still really good friends, and he still
Mm.
tries to push me, and I appreciate him so much. You know, it's just interesting, like you said, like if you don't have people behind you who believe in you and you know, who push you and who like help you envision yourself, it's impossible to make it, especially in the modeling world, because you know, you have to believe in yourself, you have to be confident, you have to be all of these crazy things. And, you know, at times you need to be reminded like you're doing a great job. All you need to do is just keep being you. And the thing in this industry, especially, is, you know, people are looking for, brands are looking for a certain aesthetic or a certain whatever. So if you don't meet that criteria, you're not going to get that casting. But that doesn't mean that you're not a beautiful girl, or that doesn't mean that you're not good enough. It just means that brand at that time didn't, you know, you didn't add as much value to the brand as what
But
they wanted to portray at the time.
interesting you said that confidence is so important, right? But do you feel like when we first met doing that journey, doing the early beginning journey, you were confident?
You know, like not at all. Like I still struggle with confidence every day. You know, I come off like I'm a loud girl who is confident, and you know, I'll tell my story, and I do tell my story in goofy ways only because I'm so, you know, not that confident and most of the time insecure. But the thing is now
Wow.
that I'm a mom, I need, you know, I need to be a good example for my son and my future kids. And now I feel empowered and confident just in the fact that I am shaping someone else's life, like me,
But
of all people.
I love you said that, because here's the thing for models out there who want to get into the industry and those and swimwears or fashion or whatnot. And a lot of models struggle with anxiety, they struggle with lack of confidence. And because it is an industry that we're looking at aesthetic a lot. And when you do come on to a set, when you're not confident, what you can turn that confidence into is trust. Lack of confidence into trust, I should say.
100.
Because if you trust the people, the team that's around the photographer, the hair and makeup, editor-in-chief, and the editors, all of it, they will help you build that confidence. I think that's so important. I remember having you on my set the first time, and I remember that you weren't this bubbly, exciting, joyful girl. In fact, you became really mousy, and you became very quiet, you became really reserved, and it was completely opposite what I thought you would be. And that's when I realized that you had so much growth to do at the time. And I was excited to join you on that growth together. And did we not have amazing growth together? My gosh.
Oh my God. It's been a journey. And, you know, you and everyone that I've worked with in SI and throughout this whole entire journey, literally the past 7 years, you know, it's been amazing for me to go back and look at my pictures and think about the time, you know, at that time, how I was feeling, what I was doing, and then look at the picture. And, you know, I see in my eyes, because, you know, they say it's the window to your soul. You can tell when something was off, or, you know, when something wasn't right. But like you said, at those moments, like, you have to trust the people who are behind the lens and the people who are getting you ready and pumping you up and believing in you, because that shows. And just
And
like
funny
you said,
enough, aesthetically, if you don't talk to us, you don't let us know that you have issue with confidence. When you walk on set looking like this, looking like this, looking like this, it's completely fearless. And what's funny is that we worked together before for a brand with guests when they're male models on set, and they're so scared of you. I remember that I was like, she's gonna eat me alive. And I remember shooting the denim campaign with you, that I literally had to go to the model, take his hand, and put it on your waist, and bring her closer. She's not gonna bite you, and because that's the power that you do have. And I was waiting for you to grow into that power. And over time, over the last few years, I got to see you really, really blossom from wearing denim clothes to being in a lavender
no
field
clothes.
with me, and to no clothes whatsoever. It's incredible. I want to show a couple images here that I thought is so timeless that we have created together. So this was for a guest denim campaign, the first time that you did a denim campaign, single by yourself as a hero. And I remember how nervous you were. I remember how far you wanted to push the sexy, because your idea of what this brand was in your mind is pretty much don't have to wear anything.
100.
Well, at some point, we did allow you to get stripped down in Malibu and creating some of these most magical moments. And I don't know if you see these pictures and then you ever reflect on them. Is
Oh,
that
all the time.
because there's something so genuinely soft and vulnerable in these images, and whether that's lack of confidence we want to say, rather is that is the fear a little bit of the responsibility you have to have on the shoe. But I love that I got to capture it in this way because I haven't seen you like this again, and we may never will, because at that moment in time you carry a different influences and baggages or whatnot to be on set. What was it like for you to actually see yourself? I remember this image on Billboard. What was it like for you when you saw yourself on a billboard for the very first time?
Well, I remember just being shocked that anyone would think that I was good enough to sell some clothes or something, you know, on a billboard, on buses, on all of this stuff. But let me slow down for a second because my mind's going like, seeing these pictures is making me so excited because I just look back and I'm just like, I don't even know who that girl is anymore. It's crazy. Like, just to look at these images is so powerful, and to look back and reflect is so important, just to see how far you have come. But you know, like you said, they're so soft and raw, because when you're on set, especially, I was a new model, I didn't know what I was doing. You totally showed me what to do, how to do it, where to do it, when to do it, and that made my job a lot easier. But the problem for me, it's not even a problem, I don't want to use that word because that's negative, but I think the struggle for me was, you know, there were other girls on that shoot.
Yes.
And it gets very
and I felt the competition. I actually did it on purpose because I wanted to give a little competition for all of you guys, you know?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to get a single picture. So you know, we started shooting by pairing people up.
Exactly.
And slowly that day, I started breaking
you play that game.
Well, I want to see how you guys will unite as a group, and it's really important for me that everybody can get together as a unite as a group. And then after, I begin to see what each one of you guys can do on your own. So I started pulling one person off the side by themselves, and obviously you stood out in that pack, and you knew it at that moment, and that was not an easy day. And just a little bit of a background for people who are watching is that we shot in Malibu, and it was a hillside, trucking down all the equipment. By the time we get to the location, they have to climb back up to get close, come back down. There was a lot going on. And then we also had the boats that you see in this picture, those are sets. We're building like sets on the beach, the props on the beach. So there's a lot of noise going on. And we were working with a stylist named Veronique, and she had a personality that is probably bigger than me. And I'm pretty big, and she was massive of a personality. And so I thought, wow, this is what a way to indoctrinate you into the brand where you have to stand out. And I think that is so important. It's not just about this brand, because as you move on into brands like Sports Illustrated, you are single by yourself. You then had to own that moment by yourself. And I thought all these other brands that we shot together, Love House, Beach Bunny Swimwear, and you were shot with other people a lot. But when you got the opportunity, when MJ put a spotlight on you, that changed everything. Tell me about that process.
You know, this was my second year in Sports Illustrated when I got to shoot with you, and coming back for the second time, I mean, the first time is amazing and such an adrenaline rush, but then when you come back the second time, you're like, they actually trust me enough to come back? This is crazy. And then to know that I'm shooting with you, you know, you have such a personality and you're so sweet and so nice, but at the same time, when you're on set, you're serious and all about business, and like you have in your head exactly what you want to portray. So, you know, I was nervous because I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to make him mad, and I want to make sure that we're getting the best pictures. And, you know, you're just feeling all of these crazy feelings at once. But I remember specifically the picture behind you in the lavender field. There was like a moment in time where I was just like, this is so crazy that I'm in this lavender field. You know, in the pictures, you can't see all the bees and all the other insects and I don't like things that fly, like birds, and so I get real scared. So, you know, I was all over the place with it. But, you know, to look back at this moment, like, I actually always use these as like hair references to these pictures, because I could never get my hair to look as good or anything to look as good ever again after this shoot. But this shoot was is and always will be super special to me. My second time, you know, just how beautiful they came out. And, you know, I was feeling so pressured by myself because I just wanted to nail it, you know?
And this shoot was very special because it was dedicated to America the Great. We were traveling from the north and all the way down the south coast on the west side, and it was a very long journey for the crew because we were driving.
MJ was pregnant, like
and
huge
MJ,
pregnant.
Our editor-in-chief, was pregnant, and that did not stop her from climbing down the hill and climbing up the cliff and being there. Incredible what she was doing. Now, when she called me and asked the list, when she shared with me the list of girls that would be on my trip, when I saw your name, and I see, I'm smiling because I just know that you bring such a joy to the process, and you bring such fun. And one thing about you that I have learned over the years, that you're not afraid to make mistakes because you laugh at those mistakes. And you're such a wonderful creature when it comes to being with everyone. There's no, you don't talk down to the hair and makeup people. You don't take it for granted. And in fact, you embrace them, you know, and that to me is a great model. So for models out there, don't forget, it's not the photographer you have to please, it's really the entire crew. And sometimes I think the hair and makeup people are actually even more important because they're the ones that
have control,
have these perfect looks that often is difficult to achieve. Well, let's talk about a little bit about what have changed for you from first time working on set with photographers like me or anybody else, and to then being in Sports Illustrated. What does that mean to you?
So much. Like, it's, like I said, my mind has so many things, and then I try to talk and I can't. So let me slow down for a second. You know, I had an idea and a dream when I was in high school and growing up, and everybody had really big dreams and goals. You know, they wanted to be, you know, a doctor or a politician or the president, you know, like these crazy ambitious dreams. And my dream was always to be a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model, a Guess Jeans model, and a mom. And above all was always just a mom, because I'm like, you know, I just love kids. Like, you can shape the future, all this stuff. So the fact that I've achieved all three of those things in the past 7 years, you know, really shows me that if you want to do something badly enough, of course, at the right time and everything like that, you can do whatever you want to do and whatever you put your mind to. I mean, I'm a small town girl from Pennsylvania. The fact that I moved across the country, you know, with a suitcase and a dream, landed in downtown LA, and I thought that LA, like downtown, was cool, and at the time it like totally wasn't, and I was like, where am I, you know, like, this is nuts. I didn't know what I was doing. My parents never trusted me to be alone, so, you know, I had to figure all of that kind of stuff out for myself. That's why I was a little crazy, you know. Got it out of my system a little late. But to be a Sports Illustrated model, to get the opportunity to travel around the world, you know, to the most beautiful locations, to shoot with iconic photographers and crews, and, you know, you can't even put that into words. It's totally priceless. But for me, the best part about it is to see how the brand has evolved in the past 7 years. You know, my first year was the 50th year anniversary, and I was standing on stage with, you know, icons.
What a special tribute. That was amazing tribute.
Like, I got chills. I still get chills thinking about it. I was looking around the room and I'm like, damn, how am I standing on this stage right now?
Heidi
like,
Klum, Tyra Banks, you know.
I mean, yes. And then now I'm standing next to, you know, empowered women. All of these, you know, different shapes, different sizes, women that have background stories, like unbelievable women. And to see how the brand just keeps evolving and keeps, you know, everything fresh and new and inspiring, it just makes me even more proud to be a part of a brand like this.
Well, MJ did a talk with me. I'm sure you got to listen in. If you guys out there haven't heard it, please go on YouTube and check it out, because it was so important for us to have that talk on the top of the series that's all dedicated to you ladies, is that the brand has evolved. And with the evolution of the brand, the model choices has evolved. And as a photographer, I too had to evolve with it. And a lot had to do, I call it responsibility. I think we're in a world now more than ever to be more responsible. Whatever we do, whether you're a chef, you're a photographer, or a model, what you put out there is a true reflection that stays forever. It's like internet, right? You put a
I
bad
found
picture
out
out
the
there.
hard way, literally.
Yeah, yes. And I think that's what I am so happy and proud to be part of this franchise, because it is not what you think it is today. It may be different tomorrow, but it's always on target to push awareness and diversity, push awareness and strength in women, and having, across the board, women photographers and women team to work. I am so blessed to be a man and still working on this franchise. I was like, oh my God, I gotta get rid of you because it's gonna be all women. I'm gonna be in trouble.
Of course, we can never get rid of you. You're the best.
I was a little nervous, but for you, I think in fashion, I'm sure there's struggles for you that when you had set those goals to be a brand like Sports Illustrated, you want to be a swimwear model. What was that like for you when other people, when you go to casting for a job that's for editorial? How was that for you?
Yeah, that was not so good for me, literally, because it was a joke. I would walk in with my big boobs and blonde hair, and people would just look at me like, hell no. So all of the rejection that I got, and like you said before, we talked about the confidence and self-esteem. I got told no 1,000 million times before I ever got told yes.
But isn't that crazy, Sam, that you're being told no because you are what everybody else out there said? You're the Barbie doll. You're the blonde hair dream. You have boobs, you have butt, you have curves, and you have, you're for the general public. Nobody can deny that you're gorgeous, but yet when you go into this industry, at times people give you the complete opposite messaging. How do you overcome that and stick with it?
You just really, I can't change the way that I look. I can dye my hair. I can make myself tanner. We all know I love to be tan. Right now, I'm like a ghost. It's crazy. I'm normally glowing and, orange like an Oompa Loompa, because that's when I feel the most confident. But, there's some things that you can change. You can change the way that you treat people. You can change the way that you dress. Like I said, your hair color. You can wear colored you can change all these things, but you can't change your body, your aesthetics, unless you get surgery or something like that. But, you can't change that. So what am I going to do? Fight against it my whole life? No, you have to learn to accept it. And then you have to help people accept you for you.
It's so crazy. We're asking people to accept you because you're sexy and beautiful. Isn't that crazy? Isn't this to me, it's insanely crazy.
It is, but like you said, first impressions are everything. So imagine me with my annoying voice, with my big tits, like walking through a door, people automatically are like, oh, she's a slut, or, she's stupid, or whatever it is, and I have that on my face. Like here I have, slut, here I have whatever people think about me. But then it takes people to actually sit down with you and talk to you. And, I'm a big goofball. I laugh at everything. Like you said, maybe that's because, I like to throw things out there just to see how people react or how I react or whatever it is. I just don't really have a filter. And
that's why
some people don't like that.
That's why we're so. We're
some people don't like that. Some people are like, ew, this, and that's okay that those people don't like that. But I'm not going to change me because that person's uncomfortable. I'm always going to say what's on my mind. And I think over these years, I've built up that confidence to just be able to be like, look, this is who I am. And I did try in the beginning, like, to fight it a little bit, like, oh, I need to be more like this, or I need to be more like that.
I remember this conversation because Victor had called me and said, listen, we love this work, guys out there, rebrand. We love this work. We need to rebrand Sam. We need to give her a new persona. What people think of her is this. And it is so funny. I can understand rebranding a car. I can understand rebranding an object, but rebranding a person, it's such a weird way to set a tone for a human being. However, I think what we're trying to do is give other people a new perception of who you are, a different side of you, because truly we cannot rebrand who we are. We are truly who we are, no matter what. A history follows us, and we had to let people see the other side of you. And I remember Victor was like, can you shoot her really conservative? Can you put her in clothes, cover her up? And I said, no. He's like, what do you mean, no? I said why would I do that?
It doesn't work.
Why would I do that to her? Why would I do that? This is who she is. And I said to him, I said, you have a star in your hand. It's just matter of time. When she's ready for it, and I think that's what the universe does, right? And you have to be ready for it. Now, you were running a marathon. You weren't running a sprint. You weren't going to run to the finish line and get it done like this. You took time to be here. Then you came to support me on this brand called Love House that I created with a business partner a few years back. And Sports Illustrated supported it really well as well. MJ really supported the brand that was in the magazine. And then you end up here. And then now you are truly one of the anchor for this brand. And that's a marathon run. And that's what you want. You don't want to get tired halfway through, right?
That's right. And if I rebranded, like, where would I be now? You know?
Well, in a way that you did rebrand yourself in the best possible way is that you became a mom.
Yeah. One way to rebrand, have a baby, literally. Now all of a sudden I'm super responsible and
we have nothing to do with it, guys. We have nothing to do with the fact she rebranded herself as a super responsible mom. That was all you. I can't take any credit. But what has being a mom changed you in this industry? Have you approached fashion a different way? Have you?
I mean, of course, you know, I still love, you know, showing off my assets, especially now because they're larger than they even used to be, which is mind blowing. It's scary sometimes. Like after I first had the baby, it was really scary. But you know, pregnancy and being a model is also not a struggle, but it's kind of like a mind game because you gain weight, you know, you don't know, your body really changes. Like even though, you know, I gained over 80 pounds when I had this baby.
Wow.
Yeah, gnarly, I know. But I didn't do anything.
Guys, if you guys don't know Samantha, you have to look up her work in Sports Illustrated because she may have the top asset and the bottom asset, but her waist is so tiny. So I have no idea how you squeeze in a baby.
That's why I look so big, because it was so insane, like how the body really does just take over. And you know, I just remember like looking at the mirror. Oh, of course. I was like the oiliest human on the planet. Like everything I touched was sticky with oil because I was so nervous about getting stretch marks and all of this stuff. And sometimes those are just genetic and, you know, unavoidable. Like even though I was an oil slick, I still have stretch marks. My skin 7 months later, almost 8 months, my son is, you know, my skin is still a big mess. And I just look at it and I embrace it. And now my waist has grown a little bit, you know, I'm definitely curvier than I was. I don't even know what size I'm in anymore because I've just been living in sweatpants, literally. You should see what I have on sitting right now. It's a horrible mess. But, you know, now it's another chapter in my life. I'm 29 years old. You know, I'm not 22 anymore. What do I expect to be walking around like, you know, perfect my whole life? No. And the part for me, you know, that was not hard for me to show, but this year shooting Sports Illustrated, I mean, I was 4 months postpartum. I felt really strong. Guys,
so don't just brush over that. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
Have your baby, and then MJ called you and said, we'd love for you to come back and model. What was that like?
It was so emotional because, you know, I came into this brand as a 22, 23-year-old, you know, I don't want to say lost soul, but like, yeah, a baby. And now I have a baby and I was able to grow with this brand and with everybody supporting me and believing in me always. And that's one thing too, you know, working with people like you and Sports Illustrated, you know, I never once felt pressured to have to lose weight. I never once felt pressured to have to fit into like a mold or, you know, have to be the super... Well,
Samantha, we can never put you in a mold. We can barely put clothes on you on set.
I'll jump out.
We were in the lavender field that day. It was National Nude Day. And you're like, everybody get naked. And next thing you know, you were running in the field with bees following you. You're pollinating the whole entire field naked. And we all just went, well, it's actually Samantha Day.
That's right, literally. It gets personal on set.
Yeah. And then that's the thing about you. It's like you are growing, you're evolving, but it must have been intimidating to say, wow, I just had a baby. My body's not where I personally feel comfortable. Where did you find that confidence to say, I'm here. I'm gonna do it.
You know, I pushed a baby out of me, number one. So that's empowerment in itself, and that's super strength, something I never thought I was able to do either. And after something like that happens, you kind of just realize what's important in life. And I'm
Mm.
healthy and I'm super strong now. I'm stronger than I've ever been, you know,
Oh.
physically speaking too. And I think it just comes from looking at my son and just, I want to make him proud. You know, I know it's such a weird thing because I have a son and I'm a bikini, you know, it's a big mess.
Well,
But
no, we can talk about that. I don't know. It's a big miss. Is it a big miss for you? Do you feel like what you have done that you're not proud to show this to
no,
your son when
no,
he gets
this
older?
I'm proud. I just feel bad for him, honestly, because you know all of his friends are gonna be like, "Oh, can we come to your? Can we see your mom?" And then you know I'm like, "Oh my god, you know, turtlenecks for the rest of my life,
You know
literally."
what? I always say if I had a child, and I'm my godson, you know, but and I always say when he gets older, I would dress up as Spider-Man. I would dress up as every superhero to pick him up at school. I'll scream his name when he leaves the car. I said I will make my life purpose to embarrass him whenever
But he
I
will
can.
love that. He expects that from you, anyways. Literally,
that's
you.
that's what I think that's the best part about being a parent. Like it's almost your duty to embarrass your kids every way
I
possible.
agree.
And it's not
Some photos I
embarrassing
have.
here. I'm sorry, maybe your son will be, and when he gets older, you're gonna be like, look at my mom's hot. That's kind of cool. That's really cool. How many people get out there and say, my mom is on a billboard. My mom can do this.
That is
I
true.
think, and I don't, you know, we talked about this offline already. I asked you this question and we can talk about it a little bit more now, is that with all the evolution of the industry evolving and changing, any regrets in the work that you've done?
I don't live my life with regrets ever because I think that it really, you know, all of your experiences in life lead you to where you need to be and show you where you need to grow and, you know, how to evolve yourself. And that's what life's all about, right? You make a mistake and you learn from it and then you grow. Are there
What was the
cringe?
hardest thing for you to learn from? Let's talk about that. What's the hardest thing that you had to learn?
You know, my mouth, because I say things a lot. Like, I'm joking. Like, everything that I'm saying, pretty much, like, I'm laughing inside, like, haha, joke. But if you don't know me and I say something, you know, it doesn't come off as a joke and it comes off really bad. And like, I never want to say something to hurt another person's feelings or, you know, or just be mean. Like, I'm not a mean girl, really. Like, I have zero mean in me because I'm only in competition with myself.
Mm.
But that's something that I learned looking back is like my mouth has gotten me into trouble in the past. And now I don't like muzzle myself, but I kind of like think twice before I say something because I'm like, will this, you know, will everybody perceive it the way that I mean it, or will people perceive it in a negative way? And I never want to come off, you know, bad or mean or whatever to people. But like I said, this mouth gets me into trouble.
You and I both, honey.
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah. Now I think I think about things a little bit more before I say them. Just a little bit more.
But never filtering. It's not a filter,
just
guys.
a little bit. Just a little bit.
Just to think before you speak rather than put a filter on what you speak. I think that's really
Exactly.
important, right?
And it's the way that I say it too. Like, you know, there's a way that you can say things and not make it seem so bad.
It's crazy that how this industry has evolved and how women have become such a strong voice in the last couple of years of the movement. You know, what do you feel a difference for you being a model now at this time?
Modeling has completely changed. You know, the game has changed with even this, like Instagram and everything so, you know, real and raw. Not saying before it wasn't real, but you know, we have lighting and all of this kind of stuff. It's changed so much, but for me, it's been a journey of learning and accepting the new. You know, in the beginning I was so against Instagram only because I didn't know what I was doing. I would just post a tit pic and be like, okay.
I don't think people will complain. By the way, I don't think anybody complained about this.
But like, I would just post a tit pic and then I would be like, okay, I'm good. But now I'm like, okay, I want to post with a purpose because that's the whole point of having a voice and a following is like, you know, I want to be able to convey positive messages and I want to help people and
And what
you
is
know,
that
a
positive
typical.
message? What is that positive message that you would like to achieve?
Well, that will be like an hour-long discussion, literally, because I'll go down so many different roads and avenues. But, you know, I think that, like, even in pictures and everything, you can see someone and then you meet someone and then you put a personality behind it, you know? And I think, like I said, first impression, if you see me, you're like, oh my God, this bitch, like, I can't even deal with this one, you know? But then, like, I feel like once people start to talk to me,
somehow that probably was the exact word I said.
I know, like, this
I
bitch,
probably
I
said it
can't.
to you, to your face.
Literally. Well, that's what I love about you, because you're so honest. And you're just like, whatever. And me too. I know.
But wait,
I
always follow up with a helpful note.
know.
I always try
100.
to always follow up with
You're a very positive person.
change this part, adjust this part. I mean,
but it's always with it's not ill will at all with you. It's always really to help people. It is like everything.
but you are
say.
shocking, Sam. When you walk in, you are
I know.
shocking. I remember this moment really well. It made me laugh, and this is a Sports Illustrated event that you guys were playing volleyball on the beach to raise. So I remember the girls. I don't remember every girl who was there because it's almost irrelevant. It's not even important at that moment because everybody kind of had their uniform. It was a white T-shirt and the shorts, and you guys were all ready to go play volleyball. And then there comes Sam, running down the beach. You had cut that shirt up.
Victor did. Victor, he was like, "Girl, you are not going out there looking basic. Like, you need to step this up. Let's be different." You know, and I was like, I'm about it. I'm like, yeah, let's be different. Come on, you know.
Oh my God, you have to post that picture as flashback just so people can see it. It was an epic moment that where you walked on, when you walked on that beach, it shut the whole beach down. Everybody just turned their face. Who is that girl? And from that moment, I think everybody remembered your name and they're never going to forget. And that was the kind of first impression that I love to leave with people. You know, it's a drop mic. Bye.
Exactly. You got to be different. You know, it's a cute white T-shirt, but like a couple holes in the right places just really elevate the style.
Do you feel now you're a mom that you would post less sexy or less nudes?
No, I think that, like I said, I'm just trying now that I'm a mom. Of course, I want to post sexy and tit pics all the time. But now, especially in the world we're living in now, I'm trying to like figure out a way to post more with a purpose, posting with a purpose, you know, like what am I trying to convey? Am I trying to just post to, you know, make someone smile, or am I trying to post a recipe? You know what I mean? Right. But at the same time, it's hard for my personality to post things because, you know, I'm just not good with social media. Like even setting this up, I'm terrible with all of it. You know, I need a crew to do it for me, and then I can do it. But if I don't have that, like, I can't.
Well, best advice I can give you with that is just live authentically and get on live more. Just get on and say hi to people. I know it sounds so crazy. I mean, with this show, with this, your number 28 guest. Maybe
that's 30. Amazing. Really, that's amazing.
And it took a bit of a getting used to, right? It took a bit of talking to a phone instead of a camera, not having, you know, teleprompter with lines underneath, not having an earbud in my ear, a producer saying, ask this question, you know, and that's all really learning for me too. And I know in the very beginning of this, I also asked myself, like, can I do this? People are going to watch, who's going to listen? And the incredible support from people like you and Sports Illustrated has given me a platform to be able to be here. I'm so grateful for that. And we're all still learning through this process. And what I can't wait to see this is 10 years from now, we get to talk again and revisit this moment, because as much as we don't think we evolve and change, we do, because naturally the time and the climate. I love to see that evolution of your modeling aesthetic, how it changed your personal aesthetic, and then you revolve back into being a mom, and as your kid getting older, who's a teenager, how you portray yourself.
Anxiety.
But I think that's what's so exciting about being so open and authentic. I think what you put out there, for me, when I think about what you put out there in social media, it's not always for others anymore. It's kind of like a time capsule, isn't it?
Yeah, actually that's a good way to look. I just need to change the way that I look at things and like have a relationship with Instagram, I guess, because in the past I used Instagram for different reasons, and now I'm using it more, like you said, in a positive way. And even doing this today with you is so empowering, and it's so positive, you know, everything's like really positive, and it makes you feel good to share every experience, good,
Because
bad, ugly,
a
all of
lot of
it.
people don't realize this, and I know you so well, and if you want to touch on it, it'd be great, is that you went through a hard struggle to be here, literally still able to be here in front of the camera, because from looking at these pictures, nobody will ever know that you do have anxiety when you're on set with people constantly judging you. You're one of the models I know will constantly try to please. Are you happy? Am I good? Am I doing what you want? And there's rarely you go, I look good, take a picture of me. And as you evolve, the confidence did sit in. I mean, let's talk, what advice would you give to other girls who was going through that?
You know, you just, well, the thing for me is like, I'm really good at taking directions. That's why shooting with you is great, because you give so many directions, and then I can
Down to
just
the
do it.
fingertips. Down to the
Yes.
fingertips.
And then I can do it. You know, if I'm told what to do, I'm good at doing things. But if I have to be creative, like most girls and most models are super creative, and they know their bodies really well, and they can put themselves in vulnerable positions. Me, I like to be told what to do, basically. So my advice to other girls is really, you know, even going out and seeing all of the model search people who are coming out, and all the girls that you get to meet through this, you know, amazing process. It empowers me more than I think I can empower them, because to see people really with a dream, a purpose, you know, their own insecurities, their own struggles, like everybody has that. And to know that we're all in this together, I think that should help people realize, like, it doesn't matter what's really, you know, who's the prettiest or whatever. It's all about how you feel, and just taking care of yourself and being the best version of yourself.
And that's well said, because beauty is defined by so many people in so many different ways. And this magazine really does, Sports Illustrated Swimsuit really does cover the spectrum from Kay Upton to Ashley Graham, breaking the internet with being so daring as for MJ, who put these amazing, powerful visuals in the world, so that we can reflect on that and realize that this should not be a moment. This should just be the normal.
Exactly.
And I think that's what's so exciting to hear, that you're going to be back in the magazine next year. Well, this year, sorry. You shot last year for this year's issue, and we get to see you as a mom in these pictures. And what do we expect? Give us a sneak peek. What do you think we're going to see?
You can expect a tan or me, for sure. I'm tan.
And curvier? Are you curvier?
I'm definitely curvier. And, you know, 4 months postpartum, like I was not, you know, for myself, I actually found it empowering to shoot, because normally I'm like, oh my God, I feel bloated, you know?
What did you
don't
shoot
know
with?
what. I shot with Josie, who also just had a baby. We had like the same time.
That's interesting. That's what I was saying. You shot with Josie, and by the way, I'm a big fan of Josie's work. The way she sees the world, we're very different the way we see the world, the way she captures it, and that's such an amazing pairing, because it's such a contrast from my visual and working with you. I want to know what was it like? You both had a baby, and
we literally got the kids together. We took some cute photos with the kids together. You know, it was just a really surreal moment, you know, to be able to have our kids on we didn't bring them on location because there was like a lot of boats and stuff involved, but you know, to have another mom shoot you, she obviously, you know, we want the best angles, because it's all about the angle, it's all about the lighting, like you said, the crew, hair and makeup, everything. And just to feel comfortable, you know, with the fact that my skin was so loose, like crazy loose, like 80 pounds of like a lot of extra weight, water, whatever it is, you know. And for me, even on a good day back in the day when I'm 22 and tight and everything, I remember feeling bloated, but you know, now it's just a whole nother spectrum. But to be able to embrace that and not, you know, not be like, oh my God, my skin, like just to own it and be like, yeah, like I just created a baby, you know, I just created the most beautiful thing in this life, and just to accept that.
And this is how I look after giving that magical moment.
Exactly.
And that itself is so powerful to me. That itself is so much bravery. And that to me is your growth in learning to be confident. How do you define confidence? have a baby, gain 80 pounds, and still get in front of the camera and own it. I think that's your moment of regaining all the confidence and be able to say to the people who have been saying no to you this entire time that you say, this is a yes. This is a yes. You decided this is a yes. And that's what's really, really interesting in this industry, that the people who are watching and want to get into the industry is that there are more no's and there are yeses. But no better than now, the time to create yeses on your own. Because you do have the platform to do that. And I'm one of those people that champion for creating your own yeses. If I can't get a TV show, I'm going to make one for myself. I can't, you know, as you know, I have a cooking show in Asia, and I always want to cook. And everybody's like, well, why would a photographer cook? And it was because so many people say no to me. And I said, I'm going to make it a yes. And we make it a yes. And I think that's what it is for the Sports Illustrated swimsuit model search people, the models. You know, they always ask, what do I need to do to get on, to be on top 64? What, you have to ask for it. You have to
want it. Yeah.
Want it. And you have to make it a yes. You got to just figure out what that yes to yourself. Everybody asks this question, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? I encourage people out there to not ask what we think you should do or what we need to tell you what to do. You need to find within yourself what is right for you. Because when you feel confident and it's right for you, your spotlight will shine and we can deny you. And
that's so true.
Right? And it's like some light takes longer to light up brighter, and some light that needs a little bit of help and a little bit of, you know, support and sheltering. But we're all the same. We're all the 100%. Same, right? I mean, it's in photography, in modeling, in hair and makeup, the crew, the journeys that we all travel, the struggles that we go through. I know Sports Illustrated can paint a beautiful picture when you open a magazine, you turn the pages. We all hashtag living the best life. But the life that I took to get there, it's a journey that I hope everybody take the time to get to learn from you guys, because that's why this platform for me is so important for you to come on and share these moments, because it is not just, oh, I wear a bikini and I'm standing in the field and I'm going to look cute. Because you know what? There were about 500 bees surrounding her and she wasn't moving, and we were blowing wind trying to get the bees off of her and then shoot a perfect image before the bee lands back on her because she had lotions on. You had lavender lotion, and I love lavender lotion. You know, and yeah, it's not the most difficult thing in the world to deal with. No, but it is a job. At the end of the day, this is a job. You're doing work, and it is so ever important for us to know that whatever job that is, we have to do the best we can, right?
100. Yeah, actually, that's a really good point for people who want to get into modeling and stuff. You know, you do take really glamorous pictures and the lifestyle looks really glamorous, but behind the scenes and like getting to locations and stuff, you know, it's a trek. You have to be like, you know, ready to do whatever, dive into the coldest water, and it looks beautiful, but that's just gold, you know?
Can I tell you what's funny, that when people say, when is right for me, it's never to me about the physicality. Because I don't think I ever look at you and say your boob is too big or your butt is too wide or your hip is too small. I don't think we ever have those conversations. I'm very cautious of that. I always ask the mental state of the model. Are you ready? Because I could think of you as a perfect 10. But if you're not going to bring a perfect 10 attitude on set, you're not going to bring you know what I mean? I think that's the lesson that for your journey, it's really finding that I'm ready. And when you're ready, nobody can deny you of it, right?
I couldn't have said it better myself, literally. And it is true, you know, some days I look back on my photos now and reflect sometimes, and I'm like, oh, I remember taking that picture, and what was in my head and what's showing are two different things, you know? A lot of my ex-boyfriends actually, like, I don't know what it was, but anytime that I was going to shoot, not a lot, by the way, not a lot of my ex-boyfriends, because I only have like 2.
Disclaimer.
I just remember, just clarifying that. I just remember, like, anytime I was on a shoot, like, they would always try to get in my head or like start a fight with me or something. And you know, that also is portrayed in photos. Like, you know, you're texting on the side, like, oh my God, blah, 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 and then you have to go and shoot and make everything look perfect. That's not going to work either, you know? So you have to be really clear-headed.
Well, you said this in the very top of the interview, and I think that's what this interview is so important for me, is that because I've seen how you got to where you are, and that's not on your own. And that's absolutely with incredible support, people like MJ Day, your agent Victor, and people who actually say, yes, maybe even the one said maybe. right? Even the one says maybe, because I was definitely a maybe, right? I'm not gonna lie. When you walked in, I go, well, she's gonna know. She's tall. She has all the right proportion, but is she here ready? Because I can't take her to present to my client if she's not ready, and all of a sudden whatever comes out of her mouth, it becomes something detrimental to a brand. Right? That's what I meant. That was, are you ready? And boy, did I think you were ready. You're ready to be in the field. You're ready to be in the studio, and you're ready to be shooting for brands. And I wish you the best success. I think your peak of career hasn't even hit you yet. This being a mom is so special. And that extra curve, I'll take it.
Okay, perfect. Game on.
Game on. No, but thank you so much for being here. I absolutely love spending time with you, and it's a long time coming. And to be able to speak to you as a mom and as somebody you call it more responsible in your social media approach, I absolutely so proud of you. I really am.
Oh, thank you so much. This journey with you is not over. It's just beginning.
Just the beginning.
I can't wait to make more magic. And
we will. And maybe next time you'll have some, maybe you will be pregnant while you shoot.
Oh my God.
We'll come up with something. Because how are you going to top, having a baby and get on the beach? But I can't wait to laugh with you, sing with you, dance with you, because that's all we do when we're on set. And I can't wait to have you in front of my lens once again, because we create magic together over the years, and we'll do many more. And I would love to photograph you and your baby together.
Oh my God, yes,
just for you.
Please. That's a dream. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for being
incredible.
Here. And thank you so much for your donation, and thank you guys so much out there for joining us every single day, weekdays, weekends I have off. Thank you very much. Be a little break. But tomorrow, Hunter McGrady is going to join me tomorrow.
Yay!
I'm excited to talk to Hunter, because this week is her premiere of QVC line. How amazing is that? Every models who come on this week have been inspiration to so many of us, and me included. And just when I think they already done everything they can, then they come up with something new. So never get a dull moment with these ladies. And I'm so happy to be able to say you're my family. Thank you so much.
Love you.
All right, guys.
See ya.
Stay safe out there, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody. So I will see you again tomorrow, and Hunter McGrady will be joining us. And that was Samantha, and you will be able to see this content on YouTube in 48 hours, and we'll have this on IG Live as well. Thank you so much, and you guys have a good rest of the week. And I will see you tomorrow, same time at 2 p.m. Pacific time and 5 p.m. Eastern time. And this is Yu Tsai saying, keep talking. Let's talk. Bye.